Well, now joined by Dr. Jason Novetsky of the Champion Mindset Group. We're so glad to have you here for the first time in a series that we want to keep continuing throughout this whole new 2017 year. But thanks for coming.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me here, Jeremy. It's good to see you.
Just tell us what the Champion Mindset Group is all about and what it can do for clients.
Sure. What I do is I work with athletes on their mental toughness. And sometimes what I start with when I work with my athletes in my office is I tell them what I don't do. And what I don't do is therapy. What I really do is coach them. And coach them on the importance of what mental toughness can do for their game. And as you know, at this level, at the collegiate level, it's really not about talent anymore. It's really what's about above the shoulders. So, you know, everybody, these girls and the guys later that play against, they're all good. They can all shoot, run, pass, but can they stay in the moment? And that's what I work on a lot with my athletes.
We talked to a lot of college teams, high school teams. Just talk about overall the large group of clientele that you have.
Well, I'm very fortunate. I've been pretty successful the last 5 years working with my individual athletes in my office. The numbers are up well over 100 or 200 or now that I see, about 14 or 15 a week in my office in the evenings. But then I also go out and I work with different teams, whether it's a baseball team or a hockey team at the club level, the collegiate level. And I'm starting to dabble with some of the younger professional athletes. You know, the baseball guys that get drafted in our area know how important it is to work on their mental game to rise the ladder in the major leagues. It's very difficult.
Just what exactly, you know, you hear it on the commercials all the time here on the Madonna Athletics Network, mental toughness, be tough. Just what is that all about? I guess, you know, that's a huge thing, but if you can condense it into just a minute or so, what would you say?
Well, you know, just like it says in the commercial, you know, coaches and everybody else yells out all the time, be tough, concentrate, focus, bear down. And my job is to teach those athletes how to do it. Coaches yell it out, but the athlete doesn't know how to do it. So in our office, we work hard on, you know, helping the athlete understand who they are as an athlete, help them set proper action-oriented goals, and then teach them skills to mentally prepare on and off their field of play, sustain their focus and concentration during the game, and then most importantly for a lot of them is recovering from adversity when things aren't going their way.
We talk about teaching them skills and talking about recovering from adversity.
Yeah.
What are some of the tactics that you use when talking to those athletes?
Well, when it comes to preparation, you know, the true standby is visualization off the field and understanding how to get your body into a relaxed state of mind so you can visualize so it will stick. And then once they're playing, it's about mentally preparing before the game, getting into routines, and then once the ball's tipped, it's staying focused on what you need to do to be successful. And when you have a mental routine that focuses on positive performance statements that we work on individually with each athlete, that's something they can always go to stay in that moment. You know, whether it's move my feet, keep my hands up, you know, look at the back of the rim when I'm shooting, whatever it is, if you're focused on that, you're not able to focus on any of the other distractions, whether it's the crowd or the other team or a bad call. It helps you stay in the moment when you have those positive performance routines.
For sure. Well, you were a college athlete yourself. Just how much has that helped you in maybe realizing your goal of getting into something like this?
Well, it helped me immensely. I mean, I was a highly recruited pitcher out of high school. When I finally got to college, it was a terrible experience the first year. I was hit all over the place as a pitcher. I had to relearn how to pitch and how to mentally handle that. And back then there weren't coaches like me to help with that. So I had to read, I had to talk to other athletes that have been there. And so I had the dubious honor at the University of Detroit, Mercy now, of holding the loss record in the season as a starting pitcher, and then figuring it out the next year and beyond and holding the win record as a starting pitcher in a season as well. So the mental game really turned my life around, and I want to be able to give back with the athletes that I work with.
Yeah, we'll talk about what all went into the inspiration to start this business and to work with individual athletes, because obviously it has such a large impact on them. What was the original inspiration?
Well, the inspiration was, like I said, was what I had to go through, and there wasn't anybody to teach that. Now, there's some sports psychologists out there, but not so much locally, and not many people that work with the high school and the college athlete. A lot of sports psychologists want to work with the pro athletes because it's a little more glamorous. I think there's a great niche here working with the high school, club, and collegiate athletes, but my inspiration was I wanted to stay in athletics, and I couldn't play anymore, so I was going to stay in the game somehow, and took my education and my life experience as an athlete and turned that into something I can give back to those athletes.
That's awesome.
Well, you were able to catch up with WWJ. This is your second time around that now. I'm not sure you know exactly when it's going to air, but can you give us a little preview tomorrow of what that's going to be all about?
Yeah, so this summer I talked to Sandra McNeil and the folks at WWJ about preseason Tiger situation and the mental things that the Tigers have to go through. And now with the Lions kind of going through a little struggle here at the end of the season, they called me back and they wanted my impression on what was going on with the Lions possibly and how they need to stay focused for this upcoming playoff run. Hopefully it's a run and it goes far. So that hopefully will be on tomorrow morning in a couple different segments. We're not sure what time. It's just whenever they say.
Great stuff. Just how can somebody get a hold of you if they want mental toughness coaching?
Yeah, you can go to my website, www.champmindset.com. All my contact information is there, along with a lot of other tools and information to help the athlete become more mentally tough.